Hello and welcome to Trading Options Network, very first exclusive subscribers only live training. I'm very excited to announce that our website has officially launched and we are finally up and running. Since this is our first live training, however, I do want to go over a little bit about what everyone should expect from these trainings moving forward. The idea behind these live trainings is to allow individuals to get an idea of what an experienced trader is looking at during market hours and discuss different strategies based on what we are looking at. It will also be an opportunity to ask questions if there is something you do not fully understand. Keep in mind that everything discussed in these trainings is the sole opinion of the person conducting these trainings. Now, one thing that these trainings will not be is a session where we recommend trades. However, it is very possible that you will see a trader come across a setup they like and make a live trade off screen, of course. Our traders will never recommend making any one particular trade. However, if you do have a question regarding a particular trade or a setup you have, our traders will have no issue discussing that question. So our training schedule will ultimately be as follows. Every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we will conduct a live training such as this one. Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays are going to be reserved for different scheduled sessions. Now, in regards to the software we'll be using for these trainings, we do prefer FinViz and a Thinkorswim paper account. So if you do use different software, that's totally fine. Just remember, every software may have a different layout, but trading is the same regardless of the software used. Now, with all that being said, let's get into our very first training. First thing, of course, I got to give this disclaimer. Again, everything that goes on right now is solely the opinion of the person conducting these trainings and not the opinion of Trading Options Network. Alrighty. So, again, based on what I was saying before, our trainings are going to be basically us looking at the market, what's happening in real time, seeing if there are any setups we like, things of that nature. The first thing I do when I come into FinViz is I want to look at the S&P 500. The reason why is, of course, the S&P 500 is essentially it's a representation of the entire market. So I'm going to go ahead and find it here. Oops. Let's see. I always forget. You know what? I'm just going to go to SPY. I don't know why SPX doesn't like coming up. All right. So here we can see the entire market. This is, of course, daily candlesticks. I prefer daily candlesticks. We have our 20 and 50-day moving averages, which I like. We have the RSI and MACD. Now, I can go ahead and change these as much as I'd like. I can put on different moving averages. I can put on the exponential moving averages, things of that nature, as opposed to simple moving averages. I could put on different indicators, but I actually like what I have set up right here, right now. Of course, I can also look at the minute charts, 3-minute charts, daily charts. I do prefer the candlesticks. To me, candlesticks are the best way to look at a chart. Now, one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to today. If we look at today right now, it is an extremely nasty red candle. I mean, there's nothing else to say. It is nasty. Not only is it nasty, it broke through the 50-day moving average. So what am I looking at right here? Well, the funny thing about today is everything gapped up when the market opened. So if I'm going to go back, let's see if I can do a 3-minute and kind of give you an idea here, maybe in a 5-minute. There we go. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. All right. So over here we have the end of Friday. And as you can see, coming into today's open, we had gapped up relatively significantly. We closed at about 510.67. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head. And then we opened up around 515, a little over 515. Since then, we have done nothing but go down. Now, if I go back to the daily chart, And again, let me go ahead and zoom in here. I look at this as danger. We had a big red candle the other day, but of course this one's a little bit different because even though that one did break through the 20-day moving average, it did not break through the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average for me it's one of those that once it's broken, either way, that tells me that we may be starting a new trend. Okay, of course, we need to see some consecutive nasty bars in this case. If I want to be creating or starting a bearish portfolio or moving more of a bearish, moving to a more bearish portfolio, if I can spit it out, I want to see some confirmation days, a couple more nasty red candles, or possibly even something where it comes down, comes back up and touches the 50-day moving average. But that 50-day moving average looks like resistance, and then it starts going down again. If that were to happen, I think we are in a very, very good position to create a more bearish portfolio. Obviously, again, let me go ahead and zoom back out a little bit. We have been extremely bullish for quite some time. Basically since the end of November. I mean, a 25% gain in 6 months is phenomenal. But again, can't always go up. We're going to have pullbacks. If we do have a pullback, in all reality, this is going to be a healthy pullback. If I look at some of this, I would say maybe around 480-ish, because of back here we have some decent support. It also, this general area around here, 480 to 483, looks like it also added or was support back then as well, back in, let's see, that would be late January, early February. So I would not be surprised if we did have a pullback around to the 480 mark. Okay. Does that guarantee we're going to have it? Of course not. Tomorrow could be an amazing green day and we hit all-time highs for all I know. Okay. Hindsight is 2020, of course. So if we look back and see what we are looking at, again, this level right here, this around 478 to 483, looks like it was acting as resistance and support in the past. There hasn't really been too much. It's been pretty much straight up since. I mean, you can argue that this 496 area was acting as some support right here. So who knows? We can come down to 496, 495, 496, and possibly see a little bit of support there. Maybe we have a small bounce and then ultimately do break through there and then go down to about that 480 level again. I think going down to 480 would be a very healthy pullback. Of course, going into being that this is an election year, I would not be surprised if we pull back and then shoot to all-time highs, possibly even seeing 530 or 540. But that remains to be seen. All right, so now that we have an idea of the market right now, the next thing I like to do is I like to look for different stocks or ETFs that are going to be trending the same direction as the market. So being that we are having a negative day today, especially after a negative Friday, and we are breaking through the 50, I'm going to be looking for stocks and ETFs that I believe I can open up a nice bearish position on and essentially just go from there. So I'm going to go to our screener. Okay. Here we have literally every single stock imaginable. The way I like to screen is not based off of descriptive or fundamental. I like to go based off of the technical analysis. I mentioned that in one of my training videos that you can find on YouTube. I am a technical trader, not a fundamental trader. I'm a technical trader basically due to the fact that I do what I call swing trading. Swing trading is essentially a type or a style of trading where you're holding positions for more than one day, but less than a few weeks for the most part. Basically, in that time frame. Day traders are also technical traders. Fundamental traders, however, fundamental traders are typically those long-term traders. They want to know what stocks they should be buying for the long term. I don't care about the long term. I care about what's going to make me money now, basically. So I'm going to be looking at the technicals. All right. So what I want to do is I want to look for stocks first and foremost that are having essentially a bad day like today. So let's see. Today maybe down negative 5%. 20-day moving average. I want to see something that's definitely below the 20-day moving average. I also want something that's below the 50-day moving average. Let's see. Volatility, I'm not too worried about that. ATR, actually, I do want to see a little bit of an ATR, at least over 1, I would say. Let's see. You know what? We'll go back to descriptive really quick. I do want things to be optionable because I'm an options trader. Oh, and I'm pretty sure it's on here somewhere. Target price. No, that's not it. Here we go. Price. I want to see something over $10. I do not deal with penny stocks. All right. Get back over to this technically. No, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch that back to any. For the most part, I just want to see 20-day and 50-day moving averages above the price. I want to see an ATR over 1. I'm not too worried about any of these other filters, but just by doing this right here, these 2 descriptive and 3 technical filters, I have 7 different stocks I can look at. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of them. AGEN. I've never even heard of this company. But again, I really don't care. I'm looking at, well, this is interesting, actually. Let me go back here really quick. Oops, I put under $10. No wonder. I want over $10. That gives me a lot more, 1,224. Let's see, what else can I change here? Make it a little bit more filtered. Let's see. I only do USA only. That didn't take off too many. You know what? Volume. Volume is a good one. I want my average volume to be relatively high because, let's see if I go to over. Yeah, that's fine. Over 2 million average volume. That still gives me 204. That's plenty. The reason I want volume to be a little bit higher is because I do not want illiquid stocks, meaning my bid-ask spreads are going to be ridiculously wide. I'm looking for bid-ask spreads that are pretty tight. Let's see here. Anything else? I think we're good there. Yeah. I should mention this. I do often filter by the sector and the industry, simply due to the fact that I want to, if I'm looking for bearish trades or bullish trades for that matter, I want the sector and the industry as a whole to be bearish or bullish as well. If I come across a particular stock that, let's just say it is in the financial, well, let's not do iShares, Adobe. It's in technology, okay? If Adobe is appearing to be bearish, and clearly is, but let's say the technology industry or sector as a whole was quite bullish, I may not want to open up a position in Adobe because it could very easily reverse with the rest of the technology sector being bullish, for example. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but the reason I do not want to see a stock that is kind of opposite of its sector or its industry is because it could easily reverse. That being said, let's go ahead and click on Adobe. Let's open it up. Pretty much everybody knows Adobe. It's a very big company. And I'm looking at this right now and I'm seeing nothing but negativeness, if that's a word. I'm sure it is. Of course, on Friday, it was pretty red. Actually, it's quite red. It looks like it was down 2% on Friday. Today, it's down another 0.71%. Keep in mind that even though this bar today is bigger, it has a bigger top to bottom. Friday, it clearly had gapped down. So that's why it's a bigger loss on Friday than it is today, even though today's bar looks bigger. Got to keep that in mind. But that being said, it is a nasty red bar. It is a bearish stock as a whole. It gapped down here. It looks like we had earnings, gapped down significantly, came up a little bit, and then has done nothing but gone down. So this could be a very, very good potential for a bearish trade, especially because it does appear that the entire market as a whole is transitioning from bullish to bearish. So I would not be surprised if this just continued to go down during the market pullback, if we do have one, and we could see, 420, 425 potentially. Is that going to happen? No, I don't have a crystal ball, but I would not be surprised if that were to happen. Let's go back and take a look at another one. Let's see here. I'm going to go down a little bit. Oh, Honeywell. Honeywell's a good one. Okay, so take a look at Honeywell. Again, today's candle is a pretty nasty one. What I do see is I don't see a lot of bearishness overall. You can argue that this is maybe a descending triangle pattern. If I were to draw some lines in here, let's see, I could draw in here. Boom. I'll go there. And then if I draw another one. All right. So you can argue that it's creating this a descending triangle pattern, which could potentially be bullish long term. So with the market, again, potentially transitioning from bullish to bearish, this could be a good trade. What I would want to see is following today's big nasty red candle, I want to see another candle that goes below this line. So if I just extend this line out, let's see if I can draw in here. Yeah, it works. If I just put this there, if I see a candle something like this tomorrow, okay, or possibly a few smaller candles, but ultimately it breaks this support line, then yes, I'm definitely interested in creating a bearish position for myself on this stock, Honeywell. Again, Honeywell is a very big, well-known stock, or a big, well-known company. But every company is going to have ups and downs. Again, I really don't care about the company. I care about what it's going to do, or what it appears like it's going to do, and making money right now. So if this goes down to, let's say, it looks like we have some support. Actually have quite a bit of support here at about the 188 level. So even if it does break that support line right now, it could find support relatively quickly. So I'd probably be looking for it to break that line and then possibly going down, maybe do about I would say down to about 188. And then if it were to break that, then, it could free fall, quite a bit further. But I feel like if it were to break this line, it's going to find support relatively quickly. But again, that doesn't mean I can't make money. I can make more of a neutral trade, maybe making like 190 my target. And if it hits that 190, then, I'd be profitable. Heck, I could be profitable if it went to 191 or 189. It doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't go too high or too low. So there are definitely different trades out there. Let's go look at one more here. Oh, let's see here. J&J. Everyone knows Johnson & Johnson. All right. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It looks like it just had its earnings. Or is it about to have its earnings today? Yeah. Actually, it's tomorrow. Before market opens. BMO. Before market opens. So that being said, I'm actually glad I clicked on this one. I would never make a trade the day before earnings unless I have insider information, in which case I still wouldn't make the trade because I don't like going to jail. Not that I've been to jail. I don't want to go to jail. But I would never make a trade before earnings because that is what I call gambling. Earnings could do anything to the stock. I don't care if it's been going down. We could have great earnings and suddenly it's trading way back up here around 158 and it's above the 20-day moving average. So I'm not a huge earnings trader. Take an example going back here. Let's see. Actually, it does look like it was actually in a bearish trend. We had earnings and it continued its bearish trend. Here's another one. It looks like it was actually more bullish, but then it had earnings and then it really didn't do much. It was kind of neutral for a little while. And ultimately it became very bearish in the last couple of weeks. So who knows what tomorrow is going to bring with earnings. But that being said, if earnings gaps up to maybe like right around here, let me just go ahead and draw this in this area somewhere. All right, there we go. So if earnings comes in and we have this little bar right up in here, and I really don't care if it's a green or a red bar, but if it gaps up, and this 20-day moving average, of course, would be extended. So let's just pretend like it's extending a little bit. Boom, boom. All right. If it comes up and it gets close to this 20-day moving average, but this 20-day moving average now starts looking like resistance and it starts trending back down, to me, this is a great opportunity to get into a bearish trade. Again, is it guaranteed to be bearish? No. I don't know what the future holds for anything. Okay? I don't. Nobody does. But if I had to put money on it, and that's pretty much what options trading is, I would guess that if we were to gap up on earnings tomorrow and the 20-day starts acting as resistance, it's going to go down. And let's see. It could go down quite far. I mean, we could have a free fall. I don't even see the last time it's been down to these levels. And we'd have to go pretty far back. So it looks like it's actually getting close to, I'm not going to say all-time lows, of course, but it's getting close to lows that it has not seen in quite some time. So that is actually very bearish. That being said, there we go. Let's see if we can find maybe anything. Let's see, price over $10. So let's go to the technicals. Let's just go ahead and switch these to above the 20 and 50 and see what we get here. Okay. So we have 47. So one of those below is over 200. Now that we're looking at some that are above the 20 and 50, it's significantly reduced. It's only about a quarter of what we had that were below the moving averages. So I'm just going to click on one for right now. I'll pick Dell. This is not premeditated. I'm just looking at it now for the first time. And in all reality, this actually does look very promising. The 20-day moving average right now is definitely acting like support. We can clearly see that today's bar is not nearly as nasty as the S&P, the market. Okay. We also see this as a doji. Usually a doji is a reversible candle or a reversible candlestick, a reversing candlestick. But it's been bullish, and then it had its earnings and it just went to the moon. Had a little pullback, which, of course, people are taking profits after this huge gain. So I'm not surprised that it had a little pullback, but then it's done nothing but gone up since. And that 20-day moving average was definitely showing us support. So I would not be surprised. Am I going to take a really aggressive bullish position on this? No. Could I see this going back up to 130 in the near future? Possibly. Again, with the market, if it is going to transition to being more bearish than bullish in the near future, then this may struggle getting past 125. But if there's any kind of support in the market at all, and we see any little bounce in the next few days, this could very easily go back up to 130. So this is definitely a potential stock that I would make a bullish position in for maybe, might hold it for a week or so, with a target price of maybe 130, see if we can get back up to where, it was just a week ago. But it's not something that I would be super, super bullish about just because the market as a whole is looking like it wants to transition and become a little bit more bearish in nature. Now, that being said, I really enjoyed this time that I had with you guys today and kind of giving you a little bit of an idea of what I'm looking at when I'm trading. I definitely, look forward to doing a lot more of these every single day. It's going to be myself or possibly some other traders coming in, doing a lot of these trainings for you guys. I can't wait to get this thing going and really moving and having all kinds of, videos and trainings where people are learning a lot of information. I will say this. This company was founded by the old phrase, you can give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or you can teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime. I want to teach everyone how to become successful options traders. If you guys can become successful options traders, there is literally no limit to what you can do. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I wish you guys a great rest of your day and look forward to talking to you guys more.